What's up, guys? Welcome back to Champ and the Tramp. This episode is brought to you by Bubba Coos Burritos. Frank, how do you like Bubba Coos?
Bubba Coos is my go-to spot for lunch, sometimes dinner. You can't miss with Bubba Coos. My kids love it. Everybody in the family is down with Bubba Coos.
Check them out, Bubba Coos Burritos.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. Whenever tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and the Tramp, let the bomb blast.
Everybody, we got my man Belal Muhammad, number 5 welterweight in the UFC right now. You've been on a tear. What win streak you on right now?
8-fight winning streak right now.
8-fight win streak.
Damn.
You've been impressing the hell out of me, man. Breaking into the top 5. You've been knocking on that door. I know you're calling out Colby, calling out Hosman. Everybody can get it right now. Everybody, welcome my man Belal. How you doing, buddy?
Appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, I've been on that grind for a minute. I had to go through the ups and downs, and I think finally now everything's starting to click, and it's coming at the right moment.
Yeah, for sure. Your wrestling has been so impressive. Obviously, big wrestling guy myself. So I just think that's been the difference in these past couple fights, that wrestling and your pace as well.
Yeah, I honestly, for me, I only have 2 years of high school wrestling. Like, I don't have a huge background, behind me. But it's like I feel like I'm very good at like timing and understanding when's the right time to shoot and when's the wrong time to shoot. And I feel like GSP always says, like, you set it up the right way, you can take anybody down. I think that's what I'm good at.
Absolutely.
I think that was a great guy to reference, GSP, because obviously he didn't have a very good background in wrestling either. But Saturday night, like, you look great, man. I mean, your timing was perfect on your takedowns. I think that's what really separated you two. I mean, you were dominant throughout the entire fight, but I think you had 5 takedowns. He had none, and you looked tremendous, man. You look like you're peaking.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, I feel like, especially for this fight, it was a rematch. So it was fighting somebody that knocked you out and somebody that that has that power to shut anybody out. And then when you lose to somebody out, like Frankie knows, you always watch your opponents and hope that they continue winning, because it's like you don't want to lose to no bum. So like I'm sitting there watching, he's knocking out T. Woodley, he's knocking out like a Michael Chiesa, and I'm like, man, so he definitely got power. So this whole camp, we were just like, all right, we got to have that footwork. We got to have the right footwork where we can't stand in front of him and just let him plant his feet and then throw bombs at us. Because for me, I'm not like I'm not the biggest one welterweight. I'm not the strongest welterweight. But I think I'm the smartest, and I'm the smartest with the way I game plan against fighters and the way I game plan against my opponents.
I like your dog on the bone too, man. That's I think that's what separates. You're like I'm getting this takedown. You don't shoot the takedowns like you're like I'm shooting a takedown, I'm getting it. Right. That makes a big difference for you. Yeah,
it's funny. Cejudo literally like FaceTime when he was talking to Ali, and he was just like, you have a different will than a lot of these guys. And I think that's what it is too, where I push harder than all these guys. And I think honestly, I train harder than a lot of the guys. And I just push myself to different limits. And like you said, it's like, who wants it more? And I think that I want it more. When it comes down to everybody trains hard, everybody works hard, everybody does dieting, nutrition, strength and conditioning. So then it comes down to will.
Right.
It's about showing up, right? You got to show up in the right moments. Like I think this is a Jack Dempsey quote. It's like, I don't got to be the best fighter in the world, but for 25 minutes or 15 minutes, that's might be better than me before or better after, but you ain't gonna be better than me in these 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's some real stuff right there. Honestly, I tell people, I'm like, bro, I can sit there, go a full 8-week camp. It'll be the most perfect camp ever. But if I show up on fight day and like something's wrong, or like I'm thinking about something odd, I can sit there and it'll have to be the worst fight ever. And it'll be like the most odd thing ever. I had fights where I'll walk out and I'll see somebody randomly in the crowd and it'll just throw off my whole mentality.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, bro, what the heck? I'm like, what the heck just happens to me in there? Like, you'll be in there so flat for no reason. And it'll be like, oh man, I was talking to so-and-so earlier today and he threw off my whole energy and made me stressed out. And that whole week was for nothing. That whole 8 weeks was the camp for nothing.
Yeah, no, it's tough to time that to make sure everything is flowing. But I mean, when you're a gamer, I feel like gamers they show up when they're supposed to. And I mean, 8 fights in a row, you've been doing that, so that's a big deal. Like, I'm really like, so you only wrestled 2 years in high school. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like 2 years in high school, my coach now that I had, Lewis Taylor, he was my wrestling coach for 1 year. And then
wow.
I didn't even know nothing about fighting or anything. And I went to college for law. And then I'll go back and forth visiting my parents and stuff. And I saw him in the newspaper fighting for Showtime. And I was like, for Strikeforce, I was like, what the heck? So I messaged him on Facebook because I was wondering where the hell he went, because he was like that young wrestling coach that was the cool guy. And he never came back. And then so I stopped wrestling after he left. So then I messaged him on Facebook like, yo, what are you doing, fighting? He's like, yeah, stop by the gym. And the gym ended up being close to my house. So then like anytime I come home on the weekends for school, I would go over there, chill with him. He'll teach me some things here and there. And then from there on, I was like, all right, yo, let me get an amateur fight. And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to go until I lose. And once I lose, I'll stop fighting. And then I got all the way till 9-0 and got into the UFC. So it was the right road.
Absolutely. So you still train with Lewis too, no?
Yeah, Lewis. Yeah, we still train together. He won the PFL middleweight championship, the $1 million man.
Right. Hell yeah.
Having a guy like
taking
that.
you to lunch and shit.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, I've seen everything that he's gone through. It's like I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, how do I get to the UFC? I'm like, bro, it's not an easy road. Well, now it's way easier than it was before. But before it was like you had to have like 3 or 4 titles. You had to be undefeated. This. He was like on a 15-fight winning streak, all like first round finishes, and the UFC never gave him a shot. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, bro, this guy's a killer. But he was a lot older. He was like 42, 40-ish. And I was like, man, he's never getting a shot. Like, am I ever going to get my shot? But he kept pushing me like, yeah, dude, trust the system, trust it, bro. Go this way, not that way. I've gone that way. That way didn't work. And to see that, it finally paid off for him in the end. Like the whole PFL got his call up there, got the PFL title. Everybody doubted him. Nobody thought he was going to win that championship. He was the 42-year-old man going against the Dagestani kid in the finals who was a monster, and he knocked him out in like 20 seconds. So it's just a crazy story.
Yeah, that's inspirational for sure, man.
Absolutely.
So you went to school for law. What law? What kind of law?
I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be
I thought I did too. I thought I did too in college, bro.
Did you?
I did. I mean, I didn't know. I was undecided. I'm like, I took a law class, and I'm like, fuck it, I think I want to be a lawyer. So I did political science as my major. We didn't have pre-law. But then they're like, 3 more years after college. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Bro, yeah, first time over there, and I'm like, man, I want something that makes money. And then one of my cousins like an anesthesiologist. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go, what's your major? He's like, biology. I was like, all right, cool. So I went for biology, and I was like, bro, I cannot do biology. And I was like, you know what? Lawyers make good money. Let's be a lawyer. I always thought I was going to be a lawyer when I was a kid. So like you said, went for political science.
You probably picked the toughest career to make money at, my man.
Is it?
No, what you do now, getting punched in the face, has got to be one of the hardest things to do to make money, man. You were just talking about fighter IQ. Do you watch a lot of tapes on your opponent?
Yeah, for me, I watch. Honestly, I do it differently. I do it weird. I hate to look at my opponent, but I watch guys that are like my opponent, and I mimic it that way. So kind of for this fight, I would watch somebody else. So I would watch a lot of Jose Aldo, because Luque kind of has the same style where he plots forward and very disciplined with his striking, with his offense and defense, and kind of like how Aldo is. So I watch a lot of Aldo tape because I don't want to sit there and overthink Luque. And I think that Aldo is like one of the top guys. I think Aldo has better striking than him. So I'll look at guys that broke Aldo down the right way, and I'll say, all right, that'll work against Luque. And
a great way to look at it. I never heard that
it's
before.
weird. I know people think I'm weird, but I just don't want to keep focusing on my opponent. I want to watch Luque a million times. Right. So I'll watch other guys that fight like him.
That's a great idea, man. I hate watching. I usually let my coaches watch and tell me what I got to do. I'm fans of everyone we fight usually, so you've seen them fight before. It's not like you're fighting a guy you never seen before. But I know what you're saying. You don't want to watch it. You say, oh, she does that good. Oh, she does that good. And you're thinking you know what I mean? Start focusing on what he does more than you do. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden you're overthinking it. Then when it gets to fight time, and it's always after the fight, we're like, oh man, he wasn't as strong as I thought, or he wasn't as fast as I thought. And it's because I'm sitting there focusing on him the whole time. But if I watch somebody else, I'm like, all right, well, this guy's very good. So I'll see how this guy lost, and I'll break it off that way.
Yeah, that's cool. Who are you working with? Who are your coaches right now?
Honestly, I work in Chicago with a small gym, Valley Flow Striking, Mike Valley. We got some monsters over there. We got Juliana Pena, Ignacio Valdez. Lewis Taylor's been with me since the beginning. And I think that having a smaller gym, it works out better for me. I used to train at Ruffusport like 3 or 4 years ago. We had a good solid core over there, but even still, that was like a smaller gym. But then when the COVID hit, I just moved back to Chicago, got closer to family, and just trained down here full time. So honestly, I like it. But I'm also a guy that I like to move around too. At the beginning of this camp, I went down there and trained with the Dagestanis in Vegas. They're down there for 2 weeks. So I got to train with Habib in there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was
Can't
cool.
beat that.
It's different, right?
Oh yeah. Those guys, no level. It's great. It's great to get with them.
Yeah. And it's like it changes your mentality. There's a lot of guys that are afraid to go train at other gyms and cross train because they don't want to look bad or be like, oh, maybe they'll see my weaknesses. For me, I'm like, I'd rather, if I could have a chance to learn from a guy like him, I'll do it. I'll take it anytime I can.
Yeah, you absorb that knowledge anytime you can get that chance. Absolutely.
So we were just talking, Frankie. Is it official? Is Leon Edwards getting the title shot with Usman, or is that not announced yet?
Honestly, for me, I don't think it is. Like they said it is, but like Usman, that's a bad injury. That hand injury, once he starts coming back to get starts punching for real, it re-injures a lot. And I know that I've talked to people that have seen him training and stuff like that. Like he's training, but he's not training with a glove on that hand yet. So like he's not fully committed to really working with that hand yet. And nothing's set in stone in this sport.
When you were ranked 13th. I think Leon was ranked 3rd. You took that fight on like 3 weeks notice. Obviously, we had the horrible eye poke, which was, you're lucky you didn't, do some serious damage there with that. If anybody watched that fight, it was one of the worst eye pokes I've ever seen. But you were still a little bitter over that, or have you left that in the past that he didn't give you that rematch because you took that fight on 3 weeks notice? Kind of would have been the right thing to do to give you that rematch since, he inadvertently obviously wasn't on purpose, but caught you with the eye poke and you never got that. Now, I mean, you're ranked totally different. Now you're number 5 guy. Would you like to get that fight back?
Bro, I've been wanting that fight forever, but when you call for it, you keep asking for it. That's when the fans and the trolls, you're getting killed anyway. I'm like, bro, it was one round, 5 rounds. And it's like, kind of like Aljamain Sterling, where he got kneed in the head, and then all of a sudden the crowd hates him for some reason. When Peter Yan's the one who did the illegal move, I'm like, I got poked in the eye, and you're acting like I'm the one who did something wrong. Yeah. I was, like you said, I was 3 weeks notice, hopped out, cut weight, and then when you're a main event, that was my first main event. I didn't know you had to do a million different media things, million different interviews, million different recordings. So it's like you're not even really training for that fight in general in that short notice of time. So I'm like, bro, at least give me the respect of giving me a rematch when you're the one who committed the foul. Yeah. But he was just, I don't need to. It was just gonna be the same way it was. It started. And I'm like, it pisses you off, but I'm like, whatever, bro. Before that, everybody was like, oh, you're number 13 against number 3. It didn't make no sense. Well, now I worked my way up to number 5. So now it makes all the sense in the world.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I think a lot of people probably don't realize just what you said. I remember McGregor talking about it back when McGregor fought Aldo, the preparation and all the media that the UFC wants you to do. He said he really didn't get a fair fight camp. They did like literally a world tour for that fight because it had so much hype behind it. And, it definitely detracts from your training, I would think. I guess the fairness to it would be that it's happening for both at least, right?
Yeah, but for me, it's like you call me at 3 weeks notice. I'm like, all right, well, and they're like, all right, we have to send a camera crew out there to start recording you. And I'm like, okay. And then they were like, the camera crew is crazy. Well, could you stand on the railroad tracks and we'll get you shot? And I'm like, bro, I gotta cut weight. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they called me. They were like, yo, we want to bring you out for a press conference the week before. Yeah. And I'm like, so a 3 week notice turned into a 2 week notice because I had a flight to Vegas a week earlier. And I'm like, bro, all of this, and it's a short notice fight. It's like, you don't need to push it that hard. We're going to fight regardless.
Right.
But yeah, it was a lot of extra work. And I was able to, schedule it way better for this camp.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the timing of this camp. How difficult was it for you to train through Ramadan? I mean, it starts April 1st, ends May 1st, and you essentially have to fast the entire day, right? I thought it was just food, but it's food and drink. So
I fast.
So that's right smack dab in the middle of your fight camp. How difficult was that? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, honestly, it was tough. It was like I've gone through full camps during Ramadan, and so I had an understanding of what I needed to do, but like with this one, I always said I'm not going to do it anymore. Cause last year I did it and I did a full month of Ramadan training for Damian Maia. And I was like, no more camps during Ramadan. And then they called me with this one, but they offer you a main event spot. It's like, you never know when you're going to get the opportunity again. So I'm like, for sure, let's go. And then, so last week was like the hard week. Cause it's like the end of your camp. It's your last hard week of, you want to go like 2 more hard sparring sessions. So I usually train in the morning at 10:30 and then at night at 6. So I'm waking up every night probably at 4 a.m. because it's from sunrise. So sunrise is here at like 5:15. So I'm waking up at 4:30 a.m. and it's like a wake where I make sure that I'm getting like white rice, white potatoes, stuff that's going to digest and give me energy for the day. And then drinking like a Pedialyte or good electrolytes. So I'm going to be sweating a lot. But the biggest thing is just having like teammates and friends that like help push me. Like I had teammates that fasted with me, even though they weren't Muslim. They were like, we want to feel it with you. We want to be there with you.
That's cool. That's cool, man. That's dedication.
The guys were like, yo, well, let's just train at night at 9:30 p.m. Your fight's going to be later at night anyway. Right, so we'll just come at later on. So it was cool to have a small crew. Like I said, we have a small gym, so it's like a family. So it's cool that they all like set up their schedule for me.
That's awesome, man. That's a testament to them and your teammates, man, for sure. So, but you got what, a couple weeks left, and then you get that 3-day feast, right? So
yeah. Did you break fast today? Did you break fast already?
I break fast probably like in 10 more minutes.
All right, well, we'll get you out of here before that.
But I said it's actually a blessing in disguise right now, because after a fight, you sit there, get lazy, you eat whatever you want in front of you. So now I have to wait till 7:30 to eat. So I'm like, it's probably
you get it in though, boy. I know you're getting it in. Come on. So I seen you post something about Palestine. I know you're from Palestine and stuff. You're always shouting them out. What was that you posted today? You shot that
yeah. It's in my bio. I'm working with a charity group that's giving back right now. Right now, it's a terrible time right now. They're getting bombed right now. The people are dying. People are losing their homes. They're getting kicked out of their homes. It's literally, when you look at it, it's like what's happening in Ukraine been happening in Palestine for the last 100 years, but nobody's really giving it any voice or any attention. So like, any chance I get to raise the flag in the cage or be able to speak about it, I'm going to do it. And, I have a lot of haters and telling people, that are telling me, oh, what do you mean this, and this? But I'm like, bro, I don't have no hate for anybody. I don't have no hate. I don't care what religion you are. I've lived with Jared Gordon for 3 years. We lived together, and he's a Jewish guy. So people
amazing.
Like, dude, I love Jared. That's my brother right there. So like, for me, it's all about just coexisting and just wanting my people to be free and my people to be just kids to live a good life where they could go outside and play soccer and play basketball and not get bombed and not have to worry about living the next day. So yeah, it's just a charity out there that's going to be giving back to them, helping them, giving them shelter, and appreciate anybody that gives.
Well said. Well said.
How about your podcast? Your podcast. Remember the name, right?
Yeah, remember the show.
Remember the show. Okay.
Yeah, we had you were on the show. We had some great guys on the show.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a game show / podcast. I think it opens up fighters a lot because it gives you that like the competitive feel, because you don't want to, you want to win, and I just wanted to be different with it.
No, you do it. Cool.
Frankie was telling me you do it with John Anik's brother. I didn't even know he had a brother. So
yeah, it's just John Anik with long hair.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's what he said. They
sound exactly the same.
Yeah, they're legitimate twins. I didn't even know John Anik could grow his hair like that. He's like, bro, he has long hair. He just shaves it himself. I'm like, bro, that long luscious hair looks good.
Oh yeah. So I know you called out Hazmat, you called out Kobe. Who do you either one of them? You don't care?
I mean, the personal wise, I want to fight Kobe just because I don't like him. But yeah, I think that I'd rather take Hamza. You get more from it. You get he's that guy that has all the hype right now, all the juice, that that McGregor feel where the UFC wants to push him that hard. Because I feel like if I fight a Kobe and I beat Kobe, but Hamza beats somebody else, he'll still skip in line and get the title shot before me. So like, I'd rather go directly to him, beat him, and we're the only two in the top 5 that haven't fought for the title yet or haven't fought Kamaru yet. And I think we're both like stylistically bad matchups for Kamaru, different matchups for Kamaru. So I think that the winner of that fight for sure should get the title shot, if Leon's for sure getting it next.
Yeah.
His fight he just had with Burns, amazing fight. He looked great. I mean, that was probably his biggest test to date. But did you see holes in his game in that fight? I mean, Burns, Burns brought it to him for sure.
Yeah, honestly, it was a great fight. You know, you have a lot of haters now. They're like, oh well, Hamza's not as good as we thought he was. I'm like, bro, Burns is a killer.
Is a monster.
Burns is a killer. Yeah.
Like Burns is number 2 in the world, and you know he could have won the title in that first round. But I think it just opened up our eyes a little bit more. Where now we get a full 3 rounds. Now I get to see him when he's a little bit tired, when you know he gets hit a little bit. Now you saw how tough he is. He can't take a punch. But for me, I think that if I'm going to fight him, I want to fight him in 5 rounds. We've seen that, you know, how tough he is with his chin in that 3-round fight. So now let's see how good his cardio is in a 5-round fight with somebody like me.
Well said.
Yeah, you said you're ready for July, right?
Yeah, I'm ready for July. You know, no injuries or anything for this fight. Feel good. Yeah, I'm a guy that stays active, stays in the gym no matter what.
Yeah, hell yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, fucking thanks for coming on. Where can everybody follow you on social media?
Thank you, brother. Thank you for bringing me on. Yeah, you can follow me on social media, BullyB170, Instagram, Twitter, all those. Shout out to everybody that supports me, and keep watching. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Belal, good seeing you, brother.
Appreciate you, bro. Right, go eat, my man. Go eat.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.